got someone for everything, haven't you?
Got cramp.
Mark's cramping up. Live on the podcast. It's all that running you're doing.
Oh, it is.
Can we get physio in here? But no, it is. You know, I do. This is going to make me
Oh. Wow, look at my leg. Oh, shit. Sorry about that.
I was just going off camera for a minute to sort this crap out. It's having access to those people, is it? And we certainly.
It's going to be a first on the podcast. Cramp.
It's staying in. This is how it is. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Season
Episode
3. Season 2.
Season 2, yeah.
Up and running now.
Brilliant, yeah. And here we are in a new venue. It's nice this. We're kind of doing a bit of a grand tour and finding loads of nice little places as well.
The Riddling Rack, Newley Willers. We host a real Fives and Tellings meetings here.
It's sound,
really nice venue.
Really nice. I had a brekkie this morning.
I probably spend far too much time and too much money in here.
Yeah.
It's really nice because we come for a walk.
It's lovely out
I think
here.
it was last week when the weather was nice, did a walk, drop the kids off at school and walk back round here.
Yeah.
Sat outside, had a coffee.
I had scrambled egg on sourdough toast this morning for me.
Lovely.
For breakfast.
Lovely.
Yeah. Nice. Highly recommended. So
It's
good to be here.
It's a great venue now.
Yeah.
This venue, Alex, I just talked to downstairs then, she's hosting the Newton Festival this year.
Oh wow.
So every year they have a Newton Fair. A bit like the St Helens Fair, people that used to go to that. It was quite a big deal, the St Helens Fair.
Yeah.
3-day event. They have a smaller one, but this year they're doing the fair in the day with all usual like small stall holders, and then in the middle, you know, like stunt bike riders and all that kind of stuff, all army stuff. But in the evening, then they're going to fence it all off, and they've got a festival on. Okay. So the K's, which are quite a popular band.
Perform at that, yeah.
Not yet, no. Hopefully, it's coming probably next year.
Yeah.
But the K's, a local band who are up for big things, they're headlining as well.
They're lining it.
So
just on your doorstep as well. Who knew?
I will share the link as well after for the on our channels for booking tickets to the festival.
Yeah.
Because I think it's probably going to sell out soon. So
and obviously, look forward to next year when we're asked to host it.
Yes, host the festival.
Courtesy of the Real Big Podcast and our followers. Interestingly enough as well, obviously we coordinated our wardrobe once again.
Yes.
I did get a few comments the
last
other week
time
to say, did we deliberately wear the same colour? So this morning I thought to myself, what colour top is Mark going to wear? And obviously we're blokes, so we can't ask each other.
Nope.
It's not cool. So I
black.
chanced it with black, as did you. So yeah,
think
it isn't corporate uniform. It's just very slimming on camera. We have to think about these things now. But yeah, obviously we're back. We've had a couple of good episodes.
Yeah.
The last one being really good, which we can go into in a bit more depth.
But we thought we'd do a bit of a recap on some of the previous episodes.
Yeah. And
recap on the last episode in particular, and talk about a topic that we wanted to do as well, which would be a little bit different.
But before we kick into that, how have you been?
Very well.
Interesting enough, I only actually see you when we record podcasts now.
Yeah, which is very often.
We're that busy, like shits in a night.
Kids have finished school, so that could open another world of pain for the next few weeks.
We're 3 days into the school holidays and I've had enough already.
Yeah.
Got a phone call this morning asking if I could go back because the dog was doing his head in.
Wait, what is up with kids?
It's his dog.
So I've got my lad's 16, the older one.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of a job at the weekend. Fair play to him.
Bit of a job, or?
Well, he's in the garden centre. I think he waters plants and stuff.
Okay.
But a few quid an hour.
Yeah.
Last night you come home from work, because this is now the realisation when you come home from work, he thinks that he can do nothing else.
Yeah.
You know, finishes at 5, and we was at football training, and there was a match on. The referee hadn't turned up for the match. It wasn't my lads playing, it was just a match on, but we knew the people that were running the team, and Emma said, "Oh, I'll speak to Harley, see if he'll do it." 20 quid for 45 minutes.
Not to be nice,
right?
That was it.
So she phoned him, he went, "Been work all day on her." I'm like,
tired from watering them plants.
I said, "Mate, like, you could earn in 45 minutes what it takes you to earn in 4 or 5 hours at your job. Just get on your scooter, come round and referee the game." Eventually he did. I think you ended up getting there for half time. You think, well, like,
did you get a tenner then? Yeah.
Tenner. Cut his fee.
No, it's good. Obviously, and you notice a lot as well in various businesses that a lot of people are away or off work, working around the kids' holidays. It's always, certainly in like the logistics business, it goes very, very quiet whenever the kids are off, and it must be because people are off, so they're not necessarily making decisions and stuff like that. But it's the same with networking, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
we always plan for a quiet sort of August, isn't it? You sort of, depending on when your meetings are, you'll get away with July being okay, but August can be a bit of a write-off at times. But no, it's people need a rest.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure like kids need a full 6 weeks off.
That needs to change. That like it
do you know what we should do, mate? We talk about education that much. I think we should take them on. We should get ourselves down to Westminster and start protesting.
The thing is, the problem is with it, they're not going to get 6 weeks off when they start working.
No.
And
well, they get 13 weeks a year, don't they? And I think most employers give 4 weeks.
So it's a bit of a culture shock. And it's obviously kids, they're still kids and they need a break, but it's the pressure it puts on parents as well.
Yeah.
Childcare is astronomically expensive. I was at a house the other week and it still like shocks me to this day. I was doing some window blinds for a customer who's a heart surgeon.
Right.
I think she's from Zimbabwe originally. But her salary's that poor. It's not poor salary, but it isn't what you'd expect for a heart surgeon.
Yeah.
She can't afford to have her son here. He has to go back to Zimbabwe for the holidays because
she can't afford to pay for
because of it. And I was
she's
heart surgeon.
It's broken, isn't it?
Yeah, the system's broken. I think the figure branded around was 60,000 a year for a heart surgeon.
Wow. She can't afford to.
Well, she would need a nanny, effectively, because it's not school hours that she works.
Yeah.
And you think someone with that kind of level of qualifications doing the work she does. When we had a good in-depth chat.
They're very well educated. I mean, what they do in 6-7 years of education just to get qualified.
And she said she doesn't do it for the money, but she could go to America and earn $350 a year. But she said that was never the reason she got into it.
Yeah.
But you're putting so much pressure on families by having so many holidays. 6 weeks, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week, 6 weeks.
Yeah, I'm quite fortunate because obviously Isaac's of an age now where he looks after himself. So.
Well, we're getting there with Harrison's 11 now, so we've just got him membership at the local gym here.
Yeah.
For the summer holidays, and his mates are going to go and swim.
Do they like join the gym?
Yeah, 11. They can't use the weights, but they can use the treadmills and the bikes and stuff.
What?
They can use the swimming pool.
Yeah.
And it's £1 for the AstroTurf if they want to use the AstroTurf. So pack lunch and off he goes. Gets him off the Xbox and stuff like that.
That's it, isn't it? Mega, goes.
So
how's the blind stuff going?
Yeah. All right, yeah.
The sun's out, so people need blinds, do they?
You'd think so. It's quiet. It's probably the quietest it's been for a while.
Yeah. Speaking to other people?
And but again, having multiple streams of income, other things have picked up. So the utilities have picked up. That's been quite good.
Yeah.
Networking, it fluctuates throughout the year, doesn't it? Anyway.
Definitely.
But maybe something else in the pipeline. I'll keep you posted on that.
You'll have to tune in next week and the week after and the week after, just in case.
Thanks to today's podcast host, the Riddling Rat, Mutiny Willers, open from 9 a.m. daily, serving coffee, specialty tea, also serving breakfast, lunch, wine, beer and cocktails. If you'd like to host a Real People podcast, contact us via our social media pages for more information. Just like, people, when you speak to people about changing things, moving things around, I like having multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
You've got to spread in anything you have to spread your risk. Even if you've got one business, you wouldn't just have one client.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And if you look at yourself as a
and it's funny,
enterprise, you wouldn't just rely on one.
It's funny you should say that. Years ago when I was in signwriting with my dad, and we dealt with a customer that 90% of their work was with the NHS, and they lost the contract, and the business went
overnight
because they were that demanding on them.
Yeah.
That literally had to drop everything to do NHS work, but it was 90% of their overall.
Do you know it's a massive thing for businesses into talking about key dependency on certain clients, and I've worked in businesses in the past where we had a client who was 90% of our turnover, and I'm talking multi-million-pound business. Yeah. And again, as an employee of that business, I was thinking, if this went, I lost my job.
Yeah.
We interestingly did an exercise in Quicklime not long ago where we had a perception that we had a few clients who contributed X amount to our kind of client base. So we did a physical exercise to work out, and interestingly enough, our biggest client's less than 10%. of our
that's what you
which
want.
is fantastic, because I was like that. Not looking at the actual metrics, I was kind of like, that's a big issue for us. We need to quell that. And when we looked at it, suddenly it's not as high up on the priority list. So no, it's very important to measure it and be aware of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you lose one big client and you're relying on them, and that's the end of your business, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So no.
And effectively, you become an employee to them.
Yeah.
It's not a business anymore.
Yeah, with all the hassle of running a business.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good to be back again. We've had a lot of. This series has started really well.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because people have had a chance to catch up on the previous series, or if it's just because Frank's videoing skills are incredible. But the actual, I think our first episode was a record breaker in terms of the number of listens in a period of time. And then obviously the episode we did with Fash last week was incredible.
Which we expected.
Because of the nature of what he was discussing and the audience. But what's interesting is a lot of people have been messaging, whereas normally you'll get a few. I've had multiple people messaging me with their thoughts on what we've discussed, and what I would say to anyone listening or watching, I want to hear more of that.
Yeah.
Like if you've got an opinion on something we've discussed, please share it with us, because it then provokes another conversation for us to have.
Because we did discuss, especially around the Fash issue, you know, if you have got questions around stuff he was discussing, that he's happy to come back on and do a bit of a Q&A podcast. Yeah. So, you know, if there's anything you would like to know about things...
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, it was a really interesting podcast, that. And there was a lot of humour in it, but there was a deeper message behind a lot of the stuff.
It's awareness more than anything. So, obviously, my knowledge of that whole psychedelics kind of thing was little or nothing prior to that, and having sat there and spoke with him before and after the recording as well, you then naturally go, well, I'm one of those people that wants to know more, so I'm then Googling and stuff, and it's really interesting, and the case studies and the YouTube videos and stuff, it's fascinating.
There's a lot more of that stuff now, probably because of podcasts, because of social media, where you get these sort of very left field people that the government are not in control as much anymore, because there's the rise in Bitcoin and all these other things
that they can't control.
Flat Earth, and it's a mad one, but Flat Earth, I mean, if you just get a chance to Google that, there's a lot of Flat Earthers out there. It's not something I particularly believe. I think
because you don't know what. No one knows.
But it's funny because you can end up in these.
Mark's going to be on the next episode with tin foil on.
You can end up in these. That's the thing, and it's the topic we're going to discuss.
Yeah.
Really relates to that.
Yeah. Yes.
Shortly.
Yeah.
Because I've found it when you start to search something and you delve deep into it.
Yeah.
Then the algorithms then pick up stuff that's related to that. Then you start to believe it.
What was the film where, like, it turns out he's just in... Was it The Truman Show?
Yes, what he was...
Like, it's mad, in it, because the more you dive into these things, the more you think...
Is that happening?
Am I just living a bit? Like, it's crazy, and I am no conspiracy theorist.
But
in the slightest.
You can go down, and this is what we're going to talk about shortly, about surrounding yourself with people. That social media, you can surround yourself with millions of people that have the same beliefs as you.
And the algorithms promote more of
that.
Yeah.
And then it becomes that, like, you can't not believe it, because...
Well, there's an interesting thing, and again, you know, you see loads of stuff, and I take everything, because I do so much reading and studying, and interestingly enough, Fash was the same. He was saying all he does is podcasts, watch videos, read books, and then he was the same, and you come across an array of different things, and one of the things I came across was related to TikTok, and how the West is filled with silly TikTok and almost mind-numbing TikTok. And then if you actually look at what kind of, like, China, for example, are watching on TikTok, it's all very educational, and how that small difference, the impact that could have in 10 years' time on the next generation of people, and it's scary. It is terrifying when you look at that. But again, you have to then pinch yourself and be like, listen, someone's got an agenda that they're pushing with that video.
But now, because you don't have the same news channels. You know, when we was growing up, you had BBC News, ITV.
It was restricted, wasn't it? Now there's so much freedom of information.
Yeah,
and I think like Twitter, or X, should I say, ever since kind of Musk took that over and lifted the various restrictions and stuff. I mean, it's become a very toxic platform.
Yeah, but it has. So I had an incident with X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, last year when I was not last year, season before. I was watching Everton.
Yeah.
And there was, and again, you can start to believe stuff. There was a planned protest at Goodison over the owners and stuff like that. Now, if you went on Twitter, you'd thought that everyone was involved in this protest, and when it actually happened at the ground, I'd probably say less than 5%. Less than 5%, but they had a loud voice on social media, and it was showing you protest.
Back to business and look at the positives of that. You know, it just shows if you get your marketing right, it's very, very easy to create that illusion for good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But equal as much people doing it
for bad
and for the wrong reasons.
And it's a great way, you know, when people start any new business, and probably the same way I joined Real 5, probably the same way I bought this device. Once I started looking, I'd get videos daily. And the first few...
Here's one for you then. How many adverts are you getting for like mushroom and psychedelic rate?
None yet.
Mate.
Are you getting loads? And you know what, like, the Remarkable is a good example, because I thought, well, I like a gadget. They are remarkable. I like a gadget, and you've seen it once, twice, three, and it got to the point where I couldn't ignore it anymore because it just. The same with
the Whoop bands. Everyone's got them now, but you've seen a few adverts, and you've seen me with it on. I'm going a few weeks ahead of you. I got those adverts as well. It works, and I'd love to know, and I'd love to speak to more people that do this for a living because.
This podcast is brought to you in collaboration with Quickline Couriers, specialists in same-day dedicated delivery. For more information, visit quicklinecouriers.co.uk.
And it really is.
But it all boils down to consistency. You know, in utility warehouse, the business I'm in, people come into the business and within a year surpass people that have been in the business 10 years.
Yeah.
But they're heavy on socials.
Yeah.
But the biggest word, they're consistent.
Yeah.
It was the same reason I got involved with Real 5. I remember the first posting about Real 5 spat, what's this?
Yeah.
Second post, third post, fourth post, fifth post, sixth post. Till a point when I couldn't ignore it anymore.
Yeah.
And I messaged Andy and said, But
is it, and the interesting thing that you want to know is, these businesses, have they got a massive budget?
Yeah.
Are they spending a fortune?
Or just being consistent?
Or consistency, and is it paid ads, is it organic, you know? And I think as business owners listening, that information is vital, and people charge and pay a lot of money for that information. I'd love to get someone who's, you know, been at one of these brands that's hooked us in like the suckers we are.
Well, I know when I was working at Carlsberg, and they were working with, I might be wrong on some of the, but I'm sure it was Tesco Club Card and Sky Q. So Sky Q tailors adverts to the viewer. So your Sky Q adverts are not the same advert all the time. So you necessarily won't see the same adverts as me. So it's linked. So all the links of email addresses and accounts. So Club Card is what they use. Yeah. Whatever you're buying at shopping. So if you never buy beer, you're not going to be sent adverts for beer.
Mental, and it's data. It all comes back to data.
And I never seen. Even when I worked in that industry, I didn't buy beer. One, because I got it free.
Yeah.
And two, I'm not a big drinker at home anyway. And when we launched a new advert, I never seen it. But some of the guys had seen it like every day. But it's the way that television now works, to tailor adverts towards you. You know, when people say that your phones are listening to you and all this, and it's a big, again, conspiracies. Yeah. Is it that they're listening to you, or is it? I was speaking to someone yesterday, but it's IP addresses. That's how they basically get you.
Yeah.
So you might have talked about it and your phone's listening, but it's not. You might have Googled it on your phone at the same IP address, and it's the IP address that's telling you.
At what level in business do you have to be to be able to do that? That's what I.
Yeah.
Like who is connecting them IP addresses to those brands? Is it the brands? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of the conspiracy behind it all.
Yeah, it's clever.
It's extremely clever, and it works because obviously
but
sat here with new Whoop bands, Remarkables. What else have we bought? Matt Butt. But people think it's a negative, but for me, I think it's a positive. I'd rather be, if I'm going to go on social media, seeing things that interest me, that are useful,
rather than seeing some. I'm not into watching people do a dance. you know,
Yeah.
or make a funny TikTok. So
Yeah.
why would it keep showing me? And this
Yeah.
is how they hook the kids in, because like I go on YouTube and the rubbish that the kids watch.
And what's the difference though, that in theory as adults we should have more self-control, if you like, in terms of being able to be like, no,
Yeah.
but clearly we don't, because here we are with
No.
our
But-
devices.
Our Whoop device has got me off social media at night. Because we used to go in bed and flick on the phone.
These are brilliant, and again, it's not a plug, but if you do want to sponsor us, you're more than welcome to. But
Anyone in Whoop?
I mean, I know they've just signed Cristiano Ronaldo, haven't they? So, you know, obviously we're only a fraction cheaper than him if you want to make us an offer. But, you know, they're ace, they're amazing.
Clever.
I wake up in the morning and be like, do you know what, I'm not going to go to the gym today because my body is telling me I need to
rest.
sit back
And you wonder how many times you get...
past 7 days.
You wonder how many times you get ill through
Yeah.
exercising when you shouldn't exercise and stuff. But we've been watching a film, Netflix series called Humans. I don't know if you've seen that.
Is that about like
Synthetic
AI?
people.
Yeah.
And
Weird, that, isn't
yeah, it is. But sort of this metrics that we can look into what we're doing now.
Yeah.
It's good, and it's only going to make us better humans. Hopefully, live longer and all that caper.
Making a note of that, I'm going to make the other half watch that one. No, it's good, crazy. We are off on a mad tangent there, but it's good. But I think, going back to what you say, consistency is another theme. And the good thing about having these conversations and meeting with these different people, and then speaking to the people that are listening and watching at home, is, in theory, we should be able to put together a playbook of how you nail it.
Yeah.
Through the various different things.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that was mentioned a few times to me in the past few weeks has been conversations around the people you surround yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it goes back to kind of like if you sat with all the mad artists dreaming up
Yeah.
flat Earth. But, you know, surround yourself with the right people and how imperative that is to personal success and business success. And I think it's something that I'm keen to delve into a little bit more and maybe get your take on it in terms of, you know, any experiences or opinions.
It's something
you may
that
have.
I got told in a book. I was, you know, when I started my personal development journey,
Yeah.
that I remember, I think it was Jim Rohn who said it, and he said, you become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
And if I just take a look at my journey in life, I played rugby. I hung around with the lads who played rugby with, and you get into all kinds of crazy stuff playing, you know, with rugby lads. But as you mature and get older, I could, whether it was consciously or subconsciously, I could see that, and this, I didn't want to fall out with these people, but what they wanted from life and what maybe I wanted from life was different. But the longer I spent with them, you just
I wonder
sort
where
of...
that comes from though, because does that come from spending time with people that you think, wow, I want that?
Yeah, I think it does. And you learn... So say me and you spend a lot of time with each other, and you've got a business, I do my things, but you would watch things that you do and thinking, well, I listen to the High Performance podcast quite a bit, which is similar to ours, but not as good.
I was going to tell you about that as well.
Okay, but
love it.
that there, when you're listening to that, and I was reading the book as well, and the first thing he discovered in the book was that everyone is the same. It's just what you do about it.
It's environment, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and the environment comes back to the people that are in your environment.
And when Jake Humphries started to get on the F1 paddock on BT Sports, sat with...
Did he used to do children's TV?
Yeah, started in children's TV. But then he moved into this elite sport, and he said he's having lunch with Lewis Hamilton. And he said the more and more that he thought about and spoke to these people, his thought was, you're either born with talent or without talent, and that was a life you lived.
Yeah.
But the more and more he delved into it, it wasn't that, it was the people that surround themselves with, and all that kind of stuff that makes you...
Yeah, and then that comes back to, you know, like anything is possible, and I'm a great believer that you can do anything you put your mind to. I've said it in the past, and, you know, I'll sit there with Steve and we'll be talking about things within the courier business and saying, like, well, what's stopping us? The only thing that's stopping you achieving what you want to achieve is yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, but you've got to be around people that lift you up and say, you can do that.
Yeah.
And I'm one of them. If someone comes to me and says, I've got this idea, what do you think I might do it?
Yeah.
Do it, because what have you got to lose?
That's it.
Just a quick one on the High Performance podcast. Obviously, good friend Louise Rogers runs a high net worth networking business called Society. So that's for like businesses that are turning over X amount or above. And she's got an event this week, which I'm going to. And she was telling me the other day, obviously she's been sending out invites to her event and stuff, and she messaged Damien from the podcast. He replied and said, thanks for the invite, but can't make it.
Wow.
Imagine if he was in the room, he charges thousands of pounds.
And he's brilliant as well.
And he replied and said, really thanks for the invite, but I can't make it, but thank you. So, must have been his PA.
I listened to a good, again, surround yourself with people. I listened to on my run this morning, the Ollie Watkins one.
Yes.
Which is brilliant.
Has he got his own podcast? Oh no,
no, he's on High Performance, a lot to do with my son and his journey. And the bumps he's had in the road. But listening to him, so he pays for a sports psychologist. He has a life coach. So again, surrounding himself with people that he trusts, that can help him. And he said he always, after every game, he pays this himself, he has a debrief with his sports psychiatrist on the game. So if he's feeling down, and now he's got himself to a point where he can't play without seeing these people.
Though, that then links back into what Fash was talking about with regards to your investment in your personal development. And I'll never forget when I was training in the gym a few years ago, and my personal trainer told me he was going to say, what are the people called that sort your feet out? Podiatrist?
Podiatrist, is it? Foot shavers.
Whatever they call it, foot shaver. And he said he was going there, and I always thought, like, I mean, Nan used to go there, what are you going there for? And he said, I'll go there so I can perform better. And I was like, do you know what I thought about? I thought, that's a significant investment you're making into yourself. You only get oneself, don't you?
But we don't
look like Ronaldo. He has doctors, he has nutritionists, he has a cook that he employs. So he earns all this money. He probably spends more than half of it on making himself the best version of himself.
And you know what, he mentioned, I think I mentioned it last week, he mentioned in a recent interview that his blueprint to be Ronaldo is out there for everyone to see. It's just whether people are willing to do it or not.
That was something that Fash touched on that I liked, where he said that he'll outwork anyone. And do you know what? I think
he probably will.
A lot of success comes down to hard work.
And again, going back, what is success? You know, we've spoke about this a lot. Is it loads of money? Is it being able to take your kids to school? Your leavers assemblies, your leavers masses.
You know, obviously we'll be looking forward to hearing that from future guests as well, in terms of what their success.
Because that was something that we want to ask every guest now. What is success?
I think so.
Because for me, I think I've probably gone past wanting to be a multimillionaire and all that lot. Not because I'm too old or anything like that, but it doesn't probably entertain me.
It's freedom for me. I think I just want the freedom to do. And to be fair, I've probably got that already if I really analysed it. But then I'm very much one of those people that it's never enough, never, and it never will be. And I think the moment I think it's enough is probably the moment I'm like, right, I need to do something else now.
But I think sometimes as well it's about being, again, surround yourself with people. If you always want more because of what they've got, but then actually maybe stepping back, going, do I actually want that?
So how then? Obviously we talk about Ronaldo and Ollie Watkins and people like that. Great, they're getting a lot of money and they can pay a lot of money to buy these people to surround themselves with. But for the average Joe, for the average woman in the street, man in the street, how can they find and surround themselves with the right people?
Their journey will probably be very similar to mine and yours. I never thought it would be, and it's not a plug for networking.
No.
But suddenly being in a room with people that are on the same journey as you. And this is what I try and tell all
my... different parts of that journey.
And this is something I always try and tell my Real 5 members, that we're not an expensive networking group. And they always say, will I get a return on my investment? What is...
Define what return you want.
Because for me, to come somewhere like the Riddling Rack and be sat with 30 business owners, that, we've had an incident in a group just recently where one of our members needs some support, just needs help. And I was proud of the night to just see, they put a message wholehearted in the group saying, I need help. And the group have rallied round.
There you go.
Now, can you put a price on that? What's that worth? To have 30 other business owners going, you tell me what you need and I'll do my best to.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think from a business perspective, you know, I would agree. We kind of joined our first networking group, and we were just winging business.
Yeah.
Still are.
Yeah.
We all are. Let's be honest. But and at the time, you think you know it all, and it's only when you get in that room and suddenly you're like, wow, there's so much more. And I still contribute the success of the various businesses I'm involved with to the people that I'm around. You know, you've got someone for everything, haven't you?
I've got cramp.
Mark's cramping up live on the podcast. It's all that running you're doing.
Oh, it is.
Can we get physio in there? But no, it is. You know, I do. This is going to make it.
Oh. Wow, look at my leg. Oh, shit. Sorry about that.
Mark's just going off camera for a minute to sort his crap out. But no, I think obviously it's having access to those people, isn't it? And we certainly
There's going to be a first on the podcast. Cramp.
It's staying in. This is how it is.
This podcast is brought to you in collaboration with Real 5 Networking. Real 5 Networking helps maximise your profits by opening new revenue streams, creating new business opportunities, and giving you the chance to work with like-minded, forward-thinking individuals in a refreshing, no-nonsense business group. Find out more about upcoming events at real5networking.com.
But no, it is. It's for me definitely.
Yeah.
Was, you know, you're in that. If you're employed, because when I started, I was employed.
Yeah.
And you're in that employee mindset. Your job 9 till 5, all that caper. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but if you've got an inkling that that's not what you want anymore, and you want to get out of it, you need to surround yourself with people who are not doing it.
Do you, from a personal development perspective, still strive to spend time with them people further along the journey than you, or have you got to a level where you're like?
Yeah, I think I do. Still, just to, I always want to lift people up or be there.
Yeah, definitely.
To support, and we see it with the network, and you see people that was smashing it, and now are not.
Yeah.
And you want to be around them to see how they recover from that, how you can help them recover from that. Something Ollie Watkins said on the podcast this morning on the run really struck home. I think sometimes a lot of people, when they go into business or sport or whatever it might be, they think they have to be an arsehole on the journey.
Yeah.
And he said the one thing that's always grounded him, his mum said, never burn bridges on your way up. You'll never win. No, if you need to cross them on the way down.
Yeah.
And for me, and you'll laugh at this, really good lesson for me, Carter, my 8-year-old, the other day. Cruel lesson, but he learned from it. He played a match for a team that he doesn't normally play for. They asked him, would he have a game on Saturday friendly? And this poor lad, he come off at half time, this poor lad kicked the ball, missed it completely. Carter was in fits of laughter. As kids do, you know, he's not a cruel kid or anything. He went back on and did it himself.
Brilliant.
And he said he was injured, and I just said, calmer. I said, get up, forget about it, and just move on. I said, but remember that just because someone else has made a mistake doesn't mean that you're going to be error-free.
It's lessons.
And it was good. And you know what? What I loved about it, when I said to him in the car, I said, you know what karma is, don't you? And he just grinned. And he knew the error that he made. But it was a nice lesson for him to learn that just because you're potentially a better footballer, don't make fun of other people that are not at your level. And it was interesting.
I love that. What a guy. But yeah, no, I think it's a very good point. And you know, all the conversations we have all lead back to the same themes, and you know, they are consistent themes, and we find that when we speak to different people. You know, how many times in that last episode did Fash turn around and say something that we'd said in the episode previous? Yeah,
loads of times.
That'll happen again.
Yeah, 100%. But it's definitely true. And you know what? Surround yourself with the right people, which is the topic. That doesn't mean you need to fall out with people.
No.
It's just I would probably say, I don't know what you're like. Obviously you've got Steve as your business partner.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I've got a best friend.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of people that I know and I like to socialise with. But I like to sort of mix my circles, you know.
I think as I've got more into the business and into my journey as an entrepreneur, I've probably got less really close friendships.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, if I think back, say 10 years ago, I had loads of mates that I was dead close with, and now kind of like that thins a bit. And it's probably because I'm busy, and you don't necessarily have people who've got families go see them as much. But at the same time, it's probably a subconscious thing because I'm, in the nicest way possible, mixing in different circles with different people.
Yeah.
And obviously, like me and Stephen are in it together, kind of thing. So it's also kind of strengthened that bond even more. So,
and I think you still have to have that strong bond. So I'd probably use my wife as my example.
Yeah.
Someone you can come home to and put the cards on the table. This was shit today. I've had an awful day. Blah, blah, blah. And she's not bothered. She just goes, go again tomorrow. So I mean, someone that is close enough to you, whether it be a spouse.
Yeah. See, I'm very lucky in that because obviously we share everything in terms of like the trials and tribulations, and you know, that definitely don't take that for granted. But again, from a single business owner's perspective, that's where you need that support system and that circle of people.
And I think definitely something I've learned is if you can trust someone. So if you've got them people you want to surround yourself with, if they're the right kind of people, you can be super honest with them.
Yeah.
And if it's networking, if you can come and go, I'm in a real hole here.
Yeah. And you see it multiple times in the groups that we run, don't you, where people genuinely ask for help. Yeah.
I'd much rather see that from someone, a bit of vulnerability, than someone be, as my nan used to say, fur coat no knickers, you know, and tell me that they're doing brilliant when they're not, and putting a front on all the time. I'd much rather someone have that vulnerability and go, because if you're putting the front on all the time, going, look at me, I'm a superstar, done it all, and then you hit a sticky patch, I don't expect.
Well, you've got to keep up the facade at some point while struggling through, haven't you? So.
And there was a podcast the other day, a money one that I listened to, and he was on about the keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
On that, and I think that's something we've all got to stop doing.
Yeah.
But he said, like, there was a woman that phoned in, and she said, look, I make $60,000 a year, and I feel like I'm underachieving because I look on social and everyone's going on holiday, and I think that's got to stop.
Yeah.
Because again, you're not surrounding yourself with them next to each other having a coffee, but you are surrounding yourself with them on social media. And he said, you're not. He said, how much debt have you got? None. You know, she had 100 grand left on a mortgage. She was in a good position.
Yeah.
And he said, keeping up with the Joneses 20 years ago wasn't too difficult. He said, because they got a brand new car next door.
Yeah.
But he said, but you knew that they had 3 arguments this week. You knew that the kids were messed up. So you said, you've got a new car.
Behind all that social media.
But on social media, it's a highlight reel.
Yeah.
So if there's people on social media that make you feel inadequate or down, just get rid.
Yeah.
Because they're probably not living the life that they're portraying.
Don't believe what you see all the time.
Because you know, you see a lot of it. You know, my mum's the worst for it. Everyone sees me on holiday all the time, and it's not. It's just maybe 10 people have gone on holiday 10 weeks after each other, and because they're not going away for 10 weeks
it's
a year,
something that then
starts to eat away. But it's true. Social media is terrible for it. You know,
however good it is, and it goes back to like we were saying about the marketing. However good it is,
it can also
have its negative side, and you know, it does make you worry for the younger generation. Buying
and I just love people that can. I love seeing people when you go out that dress where they want to dress.
Yeah.
And it might be something really wacky.
Yeah.
But they don't care.
Don't care.
And you know, Fash was very much like that.
Yeah.
He couldn't care less what I thought of him, what you thought of him, because he's comfortable in himself.
But is that success?
That's success to me. Being 100% comfortable.
And I think if you stripped it back, that's success for a lot of people.
Yeah. Like,
but I bet some people don't even know. I think it's going to be a challenging question to ask people as well.
A lot of people, when they go out drinking, they drink drinks that they think's socially acceptable. Yeah. Because he drinks it, and they might not even like it.
Yeah.
But they'll drink it.
Yeah.
People buy houses to show on social media.
Yeah.
They might not want to live there.
Yeah.
You know, it might be costing them a fortune, but it looks good on social media.
Yeah, it's a nice postcode.
You know, I had it recently. I love espresso martinis.
Oh, me too.
It looks like a right girl's drink. And I went on a stag do with some lads, and I got one. And everyone's going, "What are you drinking that for?" Because I like it. I want it.
Yeah.
Because that's the drink I like drinking.
You have too many of them, and then you don't sleep, do you?
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Like that.
Well, no, interesting, and obviously, once again, thank you for those people for reaching out.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's more episodes to come.
And get in touch, like Andy said, get in touch with questions, more things you want to see on the podcast. Yeah. If you want to get on the podcast,
we want you on.
We want people on.
Because we're doing a road.
And obviously me and Andy have come in black t-shirts today, unbranded.
We'll let you know the dress code.
If you want to sponsor the podcast and let us,
yes.
have some branded gear,
that'd be good.
Then also get in touch.
Sponsorship opportunities are available.
Yeah.
Brilliant, nice one. Well,
enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, good to catch up.
Yeah, sorry about the cramp.
Yeah, I hope you need to go and get
Wonder if Whoop told me about that.
But yeah, no, we'll see you all next time.
Cheers.
Thank you. You've been listening to the Real People Podcast.
For more content, follow us on social media, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on your preferred podcast platform.